Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 2, Episode 226. It is now about 11 a.m. I am just leaving home. More doctor's appointments for the kids, and just puts you in a situation where it makes it very tough to make money. So, on top of that, received an email from someone I work with that they will be leaving the company in early December. This is especially bad news because this person is the person who's been there the longest, and the next longest serving person other than him, he's been there over 20 years, is about 3 years, and then is about me at 5 months. So the other issue is this person is the kind of person who did not like to give up control of what they were doing. So they wanted to handle everything. They wanted everything to be in their hands, and it made it very easy for me because what I would do would be to just let them handle stuff. We would be assigned to something together. I'd sit through the meeting, we'd work together. I might put some documentation together or whatever, but he liked control of things. Now, I have recently shown him a lot of shortcuts and better ways to do things and automate things, but the fact still remains that this is a very bad thing, and it may lead to me having to make a decision about the job, because this means that my workload is going to probably triple. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to find ways to automate things and make it easier and get back to where I am sometime, but I don't know how long that will take, and it will involve a lot more hours at the office than I have now. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do there. I am heading to the office right now. For now, there is no gambling in our future. We are leaving for our trip tomorrow morning. So at this point, it's about the worst news that I could get. About to finish off the year, working hard to try to get my goal for the year and start planning for next year, and this can really affect my plans for next year. I'm trying to get into all these other areas, but at this time, I'm already low on time, and this is going to make it worse. I've thought about high limit poker, but I haven't mastered low limit yet. So do I spend money to go to some kind of a course? I did take a WPT weekend course in Atlantic City about 15 years ago, maybe longer. I'd say about 13 years ago, and it made some difference for me, but I'm not in a position where I can live off $30 an hour doing that. So at this point, I got all these different things going through my mind about what I want to do and how I'm going to make this work out. At the same time, you have to continue to make money. So this may mean working 18 hours a day for a while, doing the full office thing and the full side job until I can figure out shortcuts for the office, ways of automating things, or just having to leave that job and instead of figuring out how to make a little more, I figure out how to make a lot more at the side job, which is really the gambling, my main job. Anyway, I know it's kind of confusing, but I got to get all this stuff figured out. I'll have a lot more information soon. Like I said, just heading into the office right now. I have a meeting with my manager at 2 o'clock. Hopefully I can finish up a lot of the stuff that I need to do between now and 2 and be ready for him. And then maybe he and I can make a plan going forward. If we start now, it may make it easier. Now, this also puts a big wrench in my plans to go south, because this guy is leaving while I would be on my trip. So, got to figure that out as well. I think I need to nail my manager down to, look, either you send me to this training or I'm taking time off and going. And that will solidify that, and then maybe between now and the time I leave for the south, I get a lot of the stuff started to automate before this guy leaves. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Right now, the rain is still continuing from yesterday. 48 degrees, very humid outside. One of those bone-chilling days. So anyway, letting you go for now. I'll be back soon. All right, guys, I am back. 1 o'clock right now, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I went in there, took care of all my work that I needed to do, and started making a plan for this guy's exit, so I can present it to my manager at 2 o'clock. And here's what I came up with. In my meeting, I'm just going to let him know that I am going to investigate some paths to covering the work that this guy was doing. And what I'm going to do, since I'm going to have all of Thanksgiving to figure things out, I'm going to take the laptop with me on my trip, and I'm going to get things sorted out. I'm going to figure out exactly what he does, and then figure out what part of that I want to do. In fact, I'll probably ask my manager to send me a list of everything this guy does, and figure out what I want, and then figure out how to do what he does, make documents for that, and then anything that I don't want to do, I will have passed along to the other people, and that way I can manage what I want. And what I think I want to do is I want to be in charge of vulnerability management. We have daily, weekly, and monthly scans that happen, and I can be in charge of dispensing the vulnerabilities to the necessary parties to remediate them. And that's good because those things run on off hours, and whenever I feel like it, I can actually send those emails out. It could be overnight, could be weekends, could be a lot of different things, and I think that would be the best way to go, since I'm already managing everything in ServiceNow as it is. So I think that would be the best way to go, and would give me the least amount of added work during the day. But it just means that nights and weekends are going to be busier. Right now I'm probably spending 20 or 30 minutes every evening, and probably an hour a day on the weekends doing the extra work in order to get Wednesdays off. And this would probably add an extra hour a night to that, which I can live with. So my meeting with my manager, like I said, is in about an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and go to a casino, and as I'm pulling into the casino, it should be time for the meeting. I can do the meeting and then maybe get a little bit of time in the casino. If I get lucky, I might be able to get there before the meeting, take one lap, come back to the car, do the meeting, take another lap, and maybe double dip today. So that's our goal for now. And then as for tonight, I doubt I'll do anything, but you never know. I may actually, maybe I'll go play some cards tonight, some blackjack, some poker tonight. Maybe pull in a couple $100 more that way. Just trying to think of any path that I could take to make a little extra money. So letting you go for now. I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. I am still on my way to this casino. Traffic is bad. The weather is bad. Just not a very nice day. It's cold, and just trying to get there safely, but there's a lot of backups, accidents, and things on the roads. So yeah, right now, as it looks like I'm going to get there maybe half an hour before my meeting starts. So I'll have to run in real quick and try to find some plays, make a little bit of money, and then come back out and hopefully make that meeting in time, and then after the meeting go back in. So I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. Oh man, I went to this place. This is the same place that had just put in some new machines, and there was some crazy stuff happening in there. Been corresponding a little bit with a friend who also comes here, and trying to get kind of a grasp as to what's going on, the payouts, and things like that, and how it looks like it's going to be treating us. And what I noticed about this machine is I see this machine in a lot of different places, and this is one of two places that I see it that the payout is probably the worst. And the similarities between these two places are important. This is a different kind of casino than a normal casino, and so it seems like, well, not just seems like, I know that payouts can be a lot lower in these locations. Most of the time, 95% of the time, I end up doing well on this type of machine, even in those bad places, because I've learned to adjust for it. But at this place, it's probably the worst. I played this new machine for about 45 minutes or so at a lot of different levels. The lowest level being about $1.20, and the highest level being, let me do the math in my head here, that would be $12, I guess, a spin. So anywhere between $1.20 and $12 a spin. And I had some enormous swings, and I only played it in situations where a payout was practically imminent. So, I mean, as much as you could possibly be on a machine of this type, it's not a must hit by where it's, $999.99 and it must hit, but as close as you can get for this type of machine. I had swings during this session on plays of between $2.40 and $12 of $1,000 swings up and down. Just the craziest swings, and the payouts were very odd. The way this machine pays out is unique, and I took some pictures of situations I've never seen before, and my friend also agrees that he's never seen it before. But still, with that type of crazy massive hit, it was still doing horribly. Anyway, to make a long story short, I ended up ahead $118. At my low point, I was down probably $9.50, and I don't know about my high. It was an okay high, but in the end, I got to the point where I couldn't go to any higher levels, just like before. Last time I maxed out at like $15 or $18 a spin. Today I maxed out at $12 a spin. I just couldn't take the swings any higher than that, the way that it was paying. If it was paying the way I was normally used to, I would have definitely gone for it all the way to max bet, but unfortunately it didn't work very well. Right now, while I was in there, I was checking the time, trying not to be late for my meeting. I had sent a Teams message to my boss letting him know that I needed to leave, and we could do, I could do the call from home, and he agreed. And about 10 minutes before the meeting scheduled time, he said that he had something he had to do, and he was leaving. So his comment to me was, why don't you just call me later on, and we'll discuss how we're going to take over for this guy who's going to be leaving. So anyway, I decided at this point, at this time of day, it's already after 2 o'clock. At this time of day, it doesn't make sense for me to be running around to other casinos, and it doesn't make sense for me to go back to the office when no one's expecting me. I've got my laptop with me. I've got everything that I need for the trip, and I'm ready to go for that. But there is one place I can go to between where I am now and home, and that is the poker club. So I don't know how things are going to turn out. The later it gets in the afternoon, a lot of experienced players come in. I'd rather play on the 1-2 table, but if I have to play on the 2-5, I will. But the 2-5 plays huge. It plays like, you might need $150 or $200 to see a flop and that's not normally how 2.5s work. It might be 20, 25, 40 maybe, but at this place it plays pretty big. So if I am stuck playing a 2.5 table, I will buy in for a lower amount, so it might be 200 to 500, and then the way this place works is you can go up to 70% of the biggest stacks. The biggest stack might be 2,000 or 3,000 or more, but if the minimum is 200, I'll probably buy in for 300 on a 2.5 and have 5 or 6 bullets in case I need them. If it's just a 1-2, I'll probably buy in for 200 or 300 because the game doesn't play as big there, and I want to have the ammo in case I have a good hand, then I want to try to push. So that's what's going on right now. Feeling a little sad about not being able to make more money today, but that's what we have to do here. I'm going to focus on poker. I'm actually about to watch a video on poker right now and continue my education as I'm driving there, and hopefully I have a good session. So right now I'm going to let you go, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. Went to the poker club. As soon as I got in the door, a seat was open. I was able to sit down right away. It was a 1-2 table, and played there for quite a while. I was there 4 hours. Saw some people I hadn't seen in a long time. This club has a lot of big players. I think I mentioned that before, maybe in the last episode. This club has a lot of big players. This area produces a lot of tournament champions, a lot of really big players. So it's a very hard place to play in, and I really should stay away from it. But saw there was a pot limit Omaha table going. I don't know what the odds are. I think they were 2.5 pot limit, and we were going around figuring out how much money the people at that table had made in tournaments, just in tournaments, not to mention cash games. Now, some of these people I've seen and I've played with for the last 20 plus years, so I know they have a lot of money in table games winnings as well. But we calculated that it was between $4 and $5 million in tournament winnings from this table. So it's definitely not a place you want to go for just a leisurely night, unless you want to lose a lot of money. So, and I like to think that I've been studying up and doing better than before. But you never know. I have my ups and downs at this place. I find it easier to play at a casino than this place. Even in Vegas, I played against easier players. There's a lot more recreational players that come around. But anyway, I buy in for $300 and sit down, actually see a guy. I haven't seen him in probably a year or so. Asian guy, friend of mine. We just, friend from playing poker, not from like the outside world. But we've said for a long time that we were going to go gambling together. He likes to play baccarat. I know you're shocked, but that's his game. He likes a little bit of blackjack. But we have to keep in mind that although I'm playing 1-3 with 1-3 players, some of these guys have 1-3 budgets as well, and they're not going to be able to play blackjack with me on a $50 or $100 table. It's just not in their budget. So anyway, talked to him for a little while. Also saw another friend of mine who I hadn't seen for probably a year or so. And we used to be good friends a long time ago. We were in the same industry. Talked a lot. In fact, at one point I had an assistant that worked for me, and she came to me from him because she was dissatisfied working with him, and she came to work for me instead. And she referred another girl to work for me as well, and I had hired my brother to work for me, and he met the girl that this lady had referred, and they got married. So, and they're still married now. So that was, at least they've been married longer than me. So, closing in on 20 years or so. So anyway, I like playing a little bit of poker, but I get aggravated pretty easily by just some of the things that people do that make no sense. And sometimes you just, there's no way to make money the way that people play. There were multiple hands over $1,000 that had 2 and sometimes 3 players that hands like Jack High were winning. And I'm folding hands that are nice hands that I didn't think were good. And then I'm playing great hands. I had one hand where I had an Ace King suited diamonds, and the flop was low, like 3, 4, 5, something, 3, 4, 7, something like that, of diamonds. No, it was 2 diamonds on the flop. Anyway, there were 2 diamonds on the flop. I turn the nut flush, and then go all in, get called. I show it, and the other guy doesn't show his hand, and he rivers a straight flush with a 7 of diamonds. I mean, what can I do? So, lots of hands like that. My last hand was similar to that as well. I had a pair of kings. I raised pre-flop. The flop is Queen 4-2. I raise on the flop. I get called. I raise on the turn. I get called. And then the river, I just check, and the other guy had hit a flush on the river. What can I do there? The thing about blackjack that I like is you get a second chance, like, right away. And I often say, I don't even want to have my double down face down. I want it face up, because I want to know exactly what happened now. I don't even want to wait for the result. My brain is moving so fast that sometimes I have to be playing a game on my phone to slow myself down, because I want to play, but I don't want to play bad hands. And I ended up folding so many hands that ended up being winners. But people were playing garbage, and I don't know. Some people have their budget is a lot bigger than mine as far as blackjack to lose. I mean, as far as poker, I mean, they're calling with Jack High and Queen High on big shoves. The second to last hand that I saw was a Jack 8 over a Jack 6, and there was a Jack on the board. That's all they had, and they called. It's just amazing to me that people do that. But anyway, like I said, lots of pros were there as well. They weren't really at my table. There were a couple at my table, and they weren't doing very well. Had some of these players that would just buy in for 100, go all in, buy in for 100, go all in. I got a piece of that a couple of times. But I had bought in for, at one point I was in for 1,500, just 300 at a time, and ended up battling back. But just totally feels like a waste of time sometimes playing those games, and I can't wait to get some of my other things moving as far as advantage play. Just unless somebody knows a pro who's going to take me for the weekend and get me up to speed to where I'm making a decent amount of money, which is pretty much impossible. I just can't see long term playing poker. So anyway, that was that. I was there for just over 4 hours. Some of these guys were such gamblers that they had like a gift shop area there, and they would have someone randomly go to the gift shop and grab something and show it to them, and they'd be betting on what color it is, or okay, pick out a candle and bring it over, and then they'd bet on the smell, the scent of the candle. They would bet on red or black. I don't know if you've ever done that before, where whatever the flop is, you bet on if it's going to be mostly red or mostly black. That's the kind of players that were there, and well, what are you going to do? So right now, I am heading home, and I'll be right back with you after I take this. All right, guys, I am back. So sorry about that. I had a call coming in. So here's the plan tonight. Packing tonight, getting everything ready to go. It is still raining. It's still just not a nice day. 50 degrees outside, so it's probably going to get a lot worse tonight. We're going to try to leave early, like 7, maybe 8, just depending on how everybody wakes up, and get out of town. If we do that, then I think everybody will still be in a decent mood by the time we get to our destination. It's a one-day drive, but it's a long way. So, and I do a pretty, good job of not stopping. We'll go through maybe one drive-through on the way there, get some gas there, and continue on and finish the trip. And that's generally the way that I like to do it. Pets-wise, we have some pets. They are going to be boarded, so that's good. Don't have to worry about that. Don't have to worry about stopping for that all the time. So we'll be able to have a nice Thanksgiving. On the route to where we're going, there are tons of casinos on the way. So we're going to be passing a ton of casinos, but I can't stop there with the kids in the car, so I'm going to miss out on all that. Once we are at our destination, there will be some casinos in the area. I am going to be actually staying at 2 different casinos in that area, and then there are, depending on how far I want to drive, there are as many as 5 or 7 casinos that I could go to. And with us leaving the family in the evenings and going to hotels and things like that, I anyway will have opportunities, since the kids will be sleeping in separate rooms and things. I'll be able to travel if I need to try to make money. So the goal is still, right now, let's see, we're going to be gone, I'll be able to play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so that's 4 days. So if I can make $2,500 a day, I'd say that was an awesome trip, and handle all the family stuff. So maybe 10,000 would be a good goal. We're going to try to do that. I'll make sure that the car is all gassed up and ready to go. We'll put everything in early in the morning, and then we'll take off. So that's the plan right now. Now, as far as money, the problem is right now, the pants I'm going to be wearing are not going to be able to fit more than X amount of money. I was hoping to take a little extra, but I just don't want to trust it to someone else holding it for me or anything. So worst case, yeah, I think maybe I'd like to take more than 30 with me, but I think that's going to have to do for now. We'll see how it goes. So I think 30,000 for the trip, and we'll be focusing on a lot of $50 tables. One casino, depending on when I get to play it, actually has an incredible double deck with like half deck or less penetration, at $25 during the day, $50 at night. Double anything, split anything, hit 17. Resplit aces, I believe. I'm not positive about the resplit aces, but maybe not. So I definitely have a chance to make a lot of money, but with good penetration comes big swings too. So hopefully we'll get positive variance on the trip. There's a few people in that area that I'm friends with as well, so I may look them up and see if they want to hang out for a minute while I'm out there. So let's see. Other than that, this area actually has removed a lot of the good slot machines that we play. So that's going to be a downside to it. So there'll be a lot more blackjack and less slot play, unless I just want to hang out at the casino all the time, which obviously you don't want to do during Thanksgiving. So anyway, letting you go for now. If you have any questions or comments, it's mwusa21@gmail.com. mwusa21@gmail.com. And I'll probably start an episode tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and probably won't publish it until Thursday. See you next time.